Hi, my name's Emer and I'm striving for self-sufficiency and also better preparedness. Some of you might know that our English bulldog Spud has had some issues recently with his eyes. He had surgery at a fancy vet's earlier this week, and if you've seen him in previous videos you might have seen his eye blinking. He had an issue where he had like little hairs growing the wrong way and it was like scratching his eyelid. It's not very nice, but they were removed at a fancy, expensive animal hospital, and it was quite a distance away. The first visit at the vet's, and I noticed this sign for Woodlands for sale, and it's on the M1 northbound. And then on Tuesday morning, I had to drop Spud off by myself, and I saw the sign again, and it's sort of been like playing on my mind a little bit, this like Woodlands for sale. And it was only last night I decided to actually, it did give the web address, but I couldn't remember what that was because you're driving quickly past it. It was the first Google search, Woodlands for sale, and I saw this website, and I don't know, it just I find it quite intriguing. I sort of sadly quite like looking up Rightmove in my spare time to see, where we might move to in future and that sort of thing, and see what's going on. And I do sometimes occasionally have a look, like, is there land for sale nearby? Even though, as most people know, buying land in the UK is just a nightmare because there's so much, unless it's got planning permission with it, there's so many rules and regulations around what you can do on your own land. It just drives me nuts. So woodlands.co.uk, and yeah, I just had a bit of a nosy, and I looked at what land for sale is there near me? Like nothing nearby. But it was just, it's sort of interesting, and it has some really useful articles about, what are you actually allowed to do, things like water and toilets and sheds and how can you actually live on it and so on. And yeah, it's just it's a really good little site, and maybe I'm late to the party and everybody knows about this already, but I just thought I'd share because it just looks good, and it is just nice to sort of dream about owning this plot of land and escaping from everybody. And I've only sort of watched half of it, but I saw a really great video on YouTube earlier today. I think it's about a year old, but it's a man doing exactly what I sort of was hypothetically thinking of this week. He has actually got this piece of land and he's got his cabin in the middle of it, and he lives properly self-sufficiently on his land, and I just think that's fantastic. And then I sort of went down the rabbit hole of, well, okay, like hypothetically, if there's a piece of land at 85,000, I don't know much about lending for pieces of land because obviously Woodland doesn't really, I imagine it doesn't massively appreciate in value. Can you even get lending on buying Woodland? Is it just a cash purchase? And then I sort of thought about, well, as far as I'm aware, 4 individuals can buy a property together, and I don't know if that's the same with land. I'm going to assume it is. And then I was thinking about, well, if you had more than 4 people, you might have to set up a cooperative. And I think there already is a co-op somewhere down south where they own land together and I think homeschool their children and share the farming of the land. And again, like, sounds fantastic. It's possibly a nightmare in practice, I don't know, or maybe it is fantastic, but yeah, it got me thinking, and I thought I'd sort of share my thoughts and see what other people's thoughts are. 85k to somebody maybe isn't a lot of money, or if 9 people pooled, I don't know, and that's not a good example, but I was thinking like 9 people pooled 10k each in, to cover fees and stuff as well. Yeah, how realistic would that be? Was there anything else I was going to share? I made some notes and I can't remember now. I guess my only other thought was, if you had 4 acres of land and you popped your caravan and bang in the middle of it, maybe easier said than done if there's no roads. But yeah, just whose business, or even built just a structure like a shed or log cabin, whose business is it? Why can't you live in your little shed on your land if it's privately owned, and why would the council be traipsing through it? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. Does anyone own land, seriously seeking to own land, or is there any sort of favourite YouTubers that you follow that do something like this? Because it's a lovely idea. It's definitely not something my partner would want to do. He thought it was bad enough that I made him move here on our 1/3 of an acre or whatever. But yeah, I can definitely see the appeal why someone might want to escape to their own little plot of land and just live very, very simply. I can absolutely see the appeal in that. Then again, I also like my conveniences, like the washing machine mostly is the big one. Well, that's my waffle. Let me know what your thoughts are. Have you seen the site before? Is there any others you keep an eye on? What would be your ideal? Let me know. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.